Good morning, young ladies and young gentlemen.
Good morning.
My name is Moira. I work with the Griffin Trust, founder of the Griffin Trust. We have spent 11 years working on the streets of Kingston 11 and its environs, working with the children on the street, working in the communities to try and prevent and to try and do something to assist the children directly. In 2009, in July 2009, I had the great privilege of, and I call it a privilege, of going to Diamond Crest and working with the survivors of Armadale. And I hear a little tittering up in the corner a little while ago when the poem was going on and when certain things were being said. But I really need you to understand this. 7 children, just like you, died, were burnt to death. 1, we understand, was alive for an hour after the fire brigade arrived, and she was lying dying in that room. And we can't forget that. And we can't titter. And we can't laugh. Because these were somebody's children. Let me tell you something, a little something about him. Because having worked with all the survivors, I got to know the 7 girls. And I'm going to give you the first descriptions that they gave me of them. Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie was short with a big nose. Anne-Marie liked the colour pink. Nerissa. Nerissa was short and she didn't talk much. She loved to read her Bible. She didn't keep much friends and she was bullied a lot. Rochelle. Short, feisty, loved to cuss, had pretty natural hair. Keisha, skinny like a rake. She loved to fight and she loved to laugh. Shauna Lee, she was short and brown and pretty and jovial and troublesome. Stephanie was tall and big, positive, always seeking justice. Georgia was tall and big. When I first met the girls, when I first went to Diamond Crest, I was horrified at what I saw. I came back to Jamaicans for Justice in tears, did I not? These children were supposed to be in state care. This was, yes, a correctional centre for girls who had strayed. But for 2 of those girls who died, they didn't even have a corrections order. The only reason they were there was because there wasn't space for them in a children's home. Because nobody wants the girls over 12 and the boys over 12 because they're a problem. Do you know how easy you could get sentenced to a correctional centre? All you have to do is tell the caregiver no. And as in the case of one little girl, she told a policeman no, she would not lie down with him and no, she would not suck his wood. Yes, and for that, she was put before the courts as uncontrollable. No, our children are not safe in state care. Our children are in mortal, moral, emotional and spiritual danger. The so-called caregivers in the majorities of homes have had no training whatsoever, and the training that they do get is around containment. It's not about seeing what are your problems. See, I can see laughter up in the corner again still. I don't know that the message is getting through. How serious this time is for you as young people. I fear for many young people in this country. Because the systems, the authorities, the agencies, the ministries that are set up to protect them, to educate them, to safeguard them, are failing them miserably, and millions upon millions of dollars are being spent in big talk shops that do nothing more than talk. Are our children in conflict with the law criminals? No, for the most part. A few are. Majority of girls are in state care because they are uncontrollable, promiscuous. Has anybody asked them where that promiscuity came from? When did it begin? Why did it begin? 24 of the 32 girls that I met in Diamond Crest after Armadale had been sexually abused or raped before the age of 7. And it starts with the little touch and the little look and the children are groomed and they're not listened to. And when they go to the family courts, they're not listened to. Nobody speaks for them. And few judges will even take the time to ask them what happened. Our children are used and abused within the state homes. Last year we received a letter of invitation to go to Granville, place of safety, where they were having a problem with children, with the girls and the men in the community. The men were accessing the girls and sex games were going on inside the compound and down on the base, down on the primary school, etc. And the CDA, Child Development Agency, who is responsible for all our children under the age of 18, sent myself and others a letter inviting us to a meeting, which was to look at how best they could improve the situation for the girls at Granville. And at this meeting were police, community members. Young man, are you tired? Hello? I'm tired. Sorry about that, but you see, I come a long way, and it takes an awful lot of my energy and my emotion to keep this, because I've worked so closely with the girls. So I would appreciate a little respect for them by listening to what we have to say. Too many people in this country, from the government right down, have washed their hands of 7 children as if they did not exist, as if they were the dirt under your shoe. Every time a child gets into a problem, especially a girl, they're bad blood. They're bad pickney. They're broke out pickney. Them this, them that. There is a lot that needs to be done with our children in schools. And it doesn't need to wait till they get to high school. It needs to start in basic school. One young man coming back to Jamaica to do psychology said to me, we should do something with them in the high schools. And I said, if you wait till high school, you've left it way too late. Because there is a general acceptance of the abnormal and the immoral as the norm, too many children, boys and girls, grow thinking, for a while it's okay, it's just a little sex, no, nothing. Well, the no, nothing turns our women into murderers. Any woman who has been raped, any child who has been raped will always tell you what is deep in their heart. Kill somebody fit. Give them the right opportunity, without the care, without the counselling, without the psychological help that they really need. That's what you're producing. Our boys and our men are enraged. They see their little sisters being raped and abused, and they feel helpless because they can do nothing about it because they are children themselves and nobody will listen to them. And we accept the unacceptable as the norm. I was recently in a PTA meeting at a primary school where the counsellor was talking about the inappropriate sexual behaviour of the boys on the girls, pushing them down on the ground, grinding on them, pushing them up in the corner. See, I can see girls' heads shaking, and I know that this is going on in the high schools too. But we're talking primary schoolers. We weren't talking big kids, we were talking little kids. And can I say that while the counsellor was talking, you could hear a little chitter here and there. They were obviously parents of boys. Until the counsellor then turned round and said, well, it's not just happening on the girls, the boys are doing it on one another too. Why are people sounding shocked? Come on, young people, you see it every single day, so stop going on like you're shocked. That's another thing we have to stop doing in this country. Stop pretending. Utter shock, horror when we hear the latest nastiness that goes on. We need to be straight, talk straight, name things for what they are. In a recent UNICEF conference, there was a big thing made about calling a paedophile. Well, I'm sorry. Whether he is your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your father, if he is a paedophile and is into children, he is a paedophile. We need to stop playing with the terminology, talk things what they are. If you do not name it, you cannot shame it, you cannot change it. And yes, Betty, it is going on up there. And an awful lot of up there is perpetrating it on our children down here. And they are hidden, and they are covered, because they are the husbands, and the sons, and the fathers of the upper echelons. Because they like a little young thing, and it's easier to get it downtown than hopped on. Because people downtown hungry. As young people, we need to be aware not just of our own safety, but of the safety and well-being of others around us. Young men, when you leave the young lady at the bus stop, do you see that she gets on a bus safely? Or you just have your little kiss up, feel up, you're going about your business and you don't care till tomorrow? Be a gentleman. See that she safely reaches where she is supposed to reach, her home. Respect her, regardless of what you hear or know about her, because you don't know what brought her where she is. Too many of our little girls, when they have been used and abused, now become the community mattress. have the journal of one little girl who was raped at 12 by her stepfather, and by the age of 14 was able to list a list of 18 men and boys from the age of 15 to 45 who had raped her. And there was a shorter list of about a dozen or so that she had gone with willingly. This is all in the case of 2 years. It is damaging to our children, it is damaging to our future generations. I have children who have been elective mutes because of the abuse that they have suffered. And before they would speak a word to anybody and risk any further harm to themselves or their mothers or whoever else was threatened on their behalf, they keep total silence. And they suffer in silence. We have to keep our ears and our eyes open. We have to report. Doesn't matter if it's our son, our husband, our father, our grandfather, our cousin. Report them, even if we only suspect it. Because I would rather a male in my family hated me for reporting a suspicion than a single child was damaged in any way, shape or form because I didn't think it was okay to tell. I don't think I should take up any more time on this. I think I should pass over to Sue, who I know can continue well from there. Mrs. Goff was one of the very, and I say, exceedingly brave people that sat through the commission from day one. And there were a few days I saw her turn up at the JFJ office afterwards. And all you wanted to do was hug her because you could see the pain and anguish that she had absorbed from the girls who were giving evidence and the things that she had heard was happening to them. We all have to keep our eyes and ears open. We all have to watch out for every single one of our children. Every child we encounter is our responsibility. I'm done.